the situation across Thailand with the various issues affecting the country. Joining me now is Dr. Panitan Wattanayagorn, the chairman of the Prime Minister's Security Advisory Committee, the perfect man to talk to us about these issues. Start with COVID. Omicron is here. A couple of cases, but if there's a few, there will be more. How concerned is the government?
Of course, very concerned. I think the health ministry is just tracking down this very closely. And of course, the people are watching the development of the cases. Prime Minister insisted that we won't close down the country again unless we really have to. So hopefully we could wait and see.
If we look at, for example, what the UK has done in the last few hours, the UK has basically introduced more targeted, work from home if you can, masks in public places. The government here would have to step up the measures taken.
Well, the measures are already in place. You see people everywhere wearing masks. Less issues of not wearing masks here. Vaccination is going as planned. More on the way, boosters on the way. And of course, schools not open yet. We're just slowly opening in selected areas only. So I think it's okay.
The interesting question, of course, is the tourism industry. 20% of the economy is tourism, at a good guess. You've done a really very impressive job. First of all with the sandbox, then with Thai Pass. But if this carries on, you could lose another tourist season.
Well, hopefully not. We could move on with some selected sandboxes. I think life goes on now. I think in certain cases, I think we could manage. But of course, we have to wait and see how bad it is.
But I guess the issue is the tourism industry is so important. You can't afford to let it go too far.
Of course not. But what can you do? You need to control the pandemic first. First thing comes first, and then anything else may be secondary.
You were just telling me the building over your shoulder is where Thailand hosted the APEC the last time.
Yes, 20 years ago.
20 years ago. So now you're doing it again. What do you hope to get out of APEC later this year? Isn't it just a talking shop?
Well, we hope to push more new issues.
Such as?
Bio, and green, renewable energies, all these new approaches to environment, to new industries, just in time to reopening the country. I think this is very clear from the beginning that we pushed this in ASEAN, and now ASEAN is moving to APEC to push these issues.
One question I must ask you, of course, is, particularly since you're on the Prime Minister's Security Advisory Committee, is the recent ruling by the Constitutional Court in this country. It basically says that discussion of reform, and I'm quoting from the judgment, a translation of the judgment, that says creates turbulence and insubordination among the people. It has dangerous repercussions for the security of the state, peace and order, and the good morals of the people. So the question is really, what is legitimate democratic discussion on constitutional reform? Because it would seem to me the Constitutional Court has shut it down.
Not totally, we hope. Of course, attacking the institutions like the monarchy in a various opening, aggressive ways, the values of the institutions that traditionally respected, trying to erase the color of the blue from the flag, or trying to destroy the images should be avoided, the court said. But anything else?
So is it in your, and I know it's the court has spoken.
Yes.
But there was much surprise at the way the court spoke. Is it the government's and your view that you can have a debate on constitutional reform?
Well, the parliamentary people are now debating in different ways. They are resubmitting their motions to debate on this. I think that's in the system. I think that's allowed as long as it's in the parliament. Of course, on the university campuses, you see people everywhere debating on how we should move forward, including reforms of many institutions, the military, the bureaucracy, the monarchy, in a peaceful way.
But this idea of the laissez-majesté law, there is a view that... Do you believe discussion of the laissez-majesté law is something that can be had? People can legitimately say this needs to change.
It has been discussed for many years, but not this way, not the way the court prohibited. On campus, in social media, you can see everywhere they're talking about reforming different laws. In fact, there were attempts to create different panels to look into the law in the past without any problems.
Well, then on that final point, is the government listening?
Of course, of course. You need to listen to the young people. That's the future of the country.
Very glad you came along this evening to talk to us. Thank you. It is late at night, but a good cup of coffee and a lively discussion will always help things along beautifully. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a pleasant stay.